Alright, it's my second video. I did a first video and it kind of got drawn out and really long, so I'm doing another one. I'll cut to the chase. This is my radian. This is my fuselage. I covered the fuselage with epoxy and filler. I probably should have just wrapped it with a really thin coat of fiberglass because I want it smooth. I don't want it to look like styrofoam. And me and styrofoam planes don't get along well because they get dirty very fast and I don't like them. But I love this airplane. This thing floats forever. I mean, that guy on that one video flight test, he's not kidding when he says this thing glides forever. But anyway, I reinforced the whole tail section. It doesn't wobble at all. It barely moves. I also reinforced the nose a lot. I glued the plastic nose piece with epoxy and filler straight to the fuselage. There's two carbon fiber rods going down the side of the fuselage. And I decided to make these little pins that slide in and go straight into the wingtip to hold the wing in, because I didn't like the way that they had this tongue and groove notch thing to hold the wings together. Also put a couple of magnets on the wings to hold them in too. So this is my problem. This is the issue that I'm having. I've been flying gliders for a long time, and I built a lot of airplanes, and I love the monocoque wings. The problem with them is if you have an accident, a crash, you got to go home and you got to cut new parts, rip monocoque off, and glue the whole thing, and it's a big mess. With these, you break a wing, and at the flying field, you got some quick drying CA glue. You CA glue the thing together, and you're off flying in 10, 15, 20 minutes. So what I did was, I'm not happy with this airplane. When you first went straight out of the box, it glides forever. I mean, you have to bring the airplane down. If you just let it stay up there, it'll stay up all day, which is a nice thing. And it's a slow flying airplane. It's very easy to fly. But if you dive down fast, or if you have to dive out of a thermal like I once had to, the wings want to break. They want to flap to the point where they sound like they're going to break. And I like to stunt fly. I like to fly crazy. I like to do loops and dives and everything else. So I reinforced the wing with packaging tape on the bottom. Right. I did my little airbrush thing on that tip of the wing. I put in the flaps. Everything is all taped. The whole bottom and the whole top. I just shot this with a quick coat of, I scuffed the tape and then I shot it with a quick coat of plastic primer. I want to maybe just leave it like that until I decide what I want to do. After you guys watch this video, you could give me your input. The tape over the wing definitely makes the plane a lot more rigid. Let me see, I'll put my foot here. I can't hold the camera and hold the wing with both hands at the same time. You could feel the difference pulling up on the wing. But the problem is that all that packaging tape, really, I think it adds a lot of weight to the airplane. And while it does make the airfoil a little bit smoother, you could get a little tub of water-based foam filler. And I've gotten very good at using that. I found out that the best way to apply that is with a piece of paper-thin balsa wood as a spatula. For some reason, I guess it sticks to the balsa wood better instead of a metal knife or whatever, a metal blade or whatever. And the balsa curves to the shape of the wing. So this tape might come off. I want to put a carbon fiber rod in the wing, because even though the tape is there and it's making the wing more rigid, you can see it wrinkles. Okay, so that means this thing is still flexing. Alright, the bottom tape is super, super tight. So when I put it on, I mean, you could really, you'd see hardly any flaws. And it's super smooth and super tight. So there's a lot more rigidity here, but there's also a lot more weight. What they give you out of the box is this cheesy little hollow carbon fiber tube that only goes into the wing this far. So after this, from this point out to the wingtip, the whole wing could flex. Now, I don't know, I guess they call this a spar, the middle section. That it looks to me like they just got a piece, I don't know if it's a paper thin piece of Kevlar in there or if it's balsa wood. It doesn't look like much in there at all. So what I'm thinking about doing is, the carbon fiber rod goes in here. What I'm thinking about doing is cutting out a whole wing section through the whole airplane, a 1/2 inch wide, along the spar, the leading edge, the front edge of the spar, about out to here, and then back, 1/2 inch, going at least back to here, and then putting in another, and taking that whole section of wing out because it's going to be curved. The wing is going to have it's going to have a curve on it. So you can't just make a straight hole going through with the carbon fiber because it's gonna protrude out of the wing. So you want to be able to put the carbon fiber in at an angle like so. So the only way that I could think about doing that is to cut out a 1/2 inch wide sliver through the whole wing, and then lay that sliver of foam down flat, and then put the carbon fiber on top of it and trace where you're going to cut that, and cut out a 1/2 inch or whatever this is, 3/8 inch space over that sliver of wing, and then glue the bottom piece of foam back into the wing, and then fill that with epoxy resin mixed with micro balloons. Shove the carbon fiber rod on top of that and put the other piece of foam on top. And that would make the wing a hell of a lot more rigid, and then you don't have to bother with the tape. And then you could go to the hobby store and get some paper thin balsa wood and coat the wing with balsa filler to get rid of all the flaws in the balsa, in the foam. Make the foam smooth, and after that point I think I'll just airbrush the paint with water-based paints and maybe a little can of clear coat. But anyway, so that's my fuselage. Nice and shiny. Not shiny yet, it's just gesso. And that's the wing, and that's my issue. So feel free to comment or give me a suggestion if you have any. And then those are some of the airbrush paintings that I've done in the past. So, hey, I did the blue. I just wanted to do a little fade. It's just something, a quick story why I made the wing blue. Well, I want to do my color scheme. If I do color, I want to do red and yellow on the top. I think that goes good with that color blue. But I have a micro radian. I have several of them. And I had one that I had just gotten brand new out of the box. And I covered the fuselage with packaging tape because, like I said, I'm really bad with styrofoam. And I wanted to protect the foam. This thing looked beautiful. I had a 200 milliamp hour Healy whatever battery, 35C discharge battery in it. And this thing took off. It was dead calm, and it was a whitish, grayish, overcast day. And this thing went straight up, and I flew it right into a cloud. And I thought it was gone forever, and I actually went into the woods behind my house, and I actually found it the other day laying flat on the ground. I brought it home, put a new battery in it, and took off and flew it again. So That's why I put the dark blue. I put the dark blue so I could see the plane in the sky if it's an overcast day. Thing is, white sailplanes are really nice. They look good, against the blue sky, but when you get into the white clouds, then they get lost. So anyway, that's my video. Thanks for watching.